So why on earth did I start playing NES Tetris? Well, last year I was recommended this random YouTube video of a professional Tetris tournament, and I was hooked.
There it is! Tetris for Joseph! And we have a new Tetris World Champion!
The video went completely viral, and soon I realized there was a huge community of people watching online professional NES Tetris. And when I found out that the World Championships were happening only 2 hours away from me, I knew I had to go. And I gotta say, it lived up to the hype. One of the broadcasts actually captured my genuine reaction, and you can just see so much excitement there. And I got to meet some of my favorite players. They were all super awesome in person. And I'll never forget, the world champ casually asked me, "Are you gonna play next year?" And I thought, you know, maybe I should give this a shot. It was not pretty at first. I had no idea what I was doing, and let's just say there was a lot of room for improvement. But soon after, I got a retro console and an old TV to go with it, and I started to improve. I got 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 over the course of a few months. Soon 600. For my birthday present, I got my first 700. And all the while, I was playing competitive Tetris online with a vibrant community, lots of different events and formats, and so many cool people. It really added a lot of motivation and excitement to the game.
One more line. It will not be a Tetris, it'll be a triple. There it is, Greg!
But I had to keep practicing, and soon I hit my first 800k, and then later that month, my first 900k. And after that, all that was left was the fabled MAXOUT, maxing out the score counter at 1 million points. It's an iconic achievement for any NES Tetris player. But did you see that in the clip? Once he hits level 29, the speed increases dramatically and he tops out almost instantly. That's right, this game has a finish line. You'll only have a certain number of lines to score all your points before you hit level 29, and for all but the most insane of players, the game instantly ends. It completely changes the dynamic of the game and forces you to play as efficiently as possible and make the best out of every line.
Yo! Let's go!
And that's what makes getting a max out so tough. To maintain that level of efficiency for the whole game is really challenging. So I was stuck in the 900s for a while. May, June, July, August, September. I had so many near misses, but I couldn't quite get it. Like this one. Halfway through the game, I was at 526,000, a pretty reasonable score. I kept scoring well, and eventually I was well ahead of the pace I needed to be at to max out. 800 into 25, very nice pace. 930, and I get a 960. I literally just need one Tetris and a little bit more, but a square misdrop, and then another misdrop. The board is falling apart. I'm still ready for a Tetris if a long bar comes, but it's not coming. There's just no long bar, and the board is destroyed, and that's it. The game is over. I lost the max out at 960,000. And we've got this game, 935,000, 11 lines until 29. Plenty of time. But a couple unfortunate pieces, these just don't go anywhere very nicely, and there's just nothing to do with them. I'm burning too many lines. I have 2 lines to burn, 1 line to burn, no lines to burn, and 1 more burn line, that's it. I don't have enough lines to get the Tetrises. And there's me realizing that it's all over. And I try and get the last Tetris, but I don't even get that, and then the game is over. I really thought I had that one, but no. And along the way, there were just so many heartbreaking games. One little mistake will pretty much entirely end the run on the 19 speeds.
Dang, dude!
That all changed September 2nd, 2020. As the game's starting out, a quick refresher. You want to be scoring 4 lines at a time, and that's called a Tetris, and it gives you a lot of points. Anything else gives you pretty much no points, so we call it burns, since you're burning away the potential to score points. As you can see here, I've gotten off to a pretty wonky start. That misdrop of a square means I'm going to need another square to tuck into there to fix it up. But I'm not getting the square so far, so I kind of just have to throw everything on top and hope I get it. And there we go. There's the square. Now I can tuck it and fix up this board. Now I'm ready for a Tetris, and boom, there's a Tetris, 46,000. And you'll see here that the levels don't change immediately. You get a grace period to just chill out on the level you start at for a while. In this case, I'm going to get 130 lines to play with on level 18, and then it's going to start going up 19, 20, 21, all the way up to 29. And from 19 onward, the speed is pretty fast. It's quite uncomfortable, whereas for a seasoned player, 18 isn't too bad. 18 lets you play a little bit higher, not have to burn as much, play a little bit riskier. It just gives you a little bit more freedom. Even right here on 18, I've got a little bit of a wonky board, and so you never want to let your board get too weird. Otherwise, if you get the wrong pieces, you could easily top out. But luckily, I'm able to fix this board up, get back to a pretty normal state. A little up high, but there we go. There's the long bar, and boom, there's a Tetris. 143,031 lines in. This is a pretty good pace. On pace for good things here. It's a little bit early to be talking about things like that, but it's always something in your mind, because if you get too far behind from where you want to be, it's really hard to come back. But still easy going so far. Filling in some dependencies and ready for another Tetris. Next time the long bar comes, I'll be ready, but it's not coming so far, and I have to set up some tuck setups because these pieces are not ideal. But there we go. There's the long bar, and there's another Tetris. And instantly set up for another one, crossing 200,000 at the 43 line mark. That's actually well ahead of where I want to be to get a potential max out. But I'm up high, and I'm not getting another long bar, so I have to take some burns. But there we go. There's another one, 236,000. And quickly after, there's another one, 259,000. Almost ready to get set up again. Setting up for it. Ready for another Tetris, and there's the long bar. Boom, crossing almost 300,000, 58 lines in. And this is a really good spot to be in, crossing 300,000, 62 lines in. This is about halfway to the transition, which is when the speed starts increasing. And to get a max out, you want to get at least 500,000 by the transition. But if you're able to get a 600,000, that's like phenomenal. That's makes it a lot easier to get the max out, because you don't need quite as many points on the faster speeds. And I'm well on my way to a 600 if I can keep this up, but this board is starting to get really wonky. I'm going to need some decent sequences of pieces, and so far getting workable stuff. Not perfect, but it's good enough to get out, and there we go. I've gotten my board back to health and ready to score again. Starting to get a little high, but the square is going to help, and there's the long bar to bring this down back to safety. Another thing to note that the community talks about a lot is how you control the pieces. So it turns out holding down the arrow keys to move the pieces is not that fast, and so especially at the higher speeds, it's very difficult to effectively play with it. So some players opt for a technique called hyper tapping, where you vibrate your hand and press the button really fast, and that's what you'll see that I'm doing here. You can see in the bottom left we have a hertz counter, which is saying how many clicks per second I can get. And so I'll usually get between 10 and 12 clicks per second to get pieces most of where I want to go. But there are some tappers who can go significantly faster. And it really just helps moving the pieces at high speeds. The flip side of that, though, is that it becomes a very physical endeavor to play this game. If your arm gets tired and you can't tap like you usually can, it really hinders your ability to play a game. So it becomes both a physical and a mental game to compete at this. But here we go, I'm at 100 lines. I've already crossed the 500,000 mark, which is kind of the baseline target that you want to get before transition, and I still have 30 more lines. There's a lot of potential here, but of course, a couple bad pieces could send me into a dig, just as it could at any time. Luckily, I'm able to burn out of that situation, and I'm ready again. These pieces are not ideal. I might have to do a little bit more burning here. Yeah, and I know I'm on a good game, so I don't want to take too many crazy risks. But I'm just not getting what I want. I'm going to do a pretty safe play with the T-burn there. It's not usually advisable to put it like that, but I'm just trying to not risk it. But there we go. I'm able to open back up. I still have 10 more lines until the speed increases. And I still have the potential for a few more Tetrises here. So let's see what I can do. There's one. That's going to go to 571. This is a great transition. I'm set up for another one. A max out, what I'm shooting for is 1,000,000 points. So if I can get a 600,000 transition, then I only need 400,000 between 19 and 29. But as you can see here, it just got a lot faster. And now that I'm not on the starting level with the grace period, I'm going to go shooting up the levels. Every 10 lines I clear, it goes up another level. And so it's a lot more stressful at this speed. You don't have time to question your decisions. It's just all instinct. And right now, I know I have a good transition score, so I'm just like, please don't die, please don't die. It's so easy to die when you get a good transition score. And so I'm taking all these safety burns. I'm just like, oh, come on, please, don't ruin this. And there we go, I'm open for the Tetris, and boom, there's a Tetris, 655,000. Still a really good score, even though I took some burns there. I'm just trying to stay as safe as possible. This is a little bit yikesy, but I get the T I needed on the left. And there's another Tetris, 683,000. I need some pieces here, and I'm not quite getting them, but these ones will do. I'm able to build it down and clear it away, opening up the right side. Almost ready to build back towards Tetris's, but there we go. 688,000 on level 22. Still a good game. I still need to just keep this up for 7 more levels. There we go. 700,000 on level 22. This is phenomenal. But these rough pieces, oh, those don't go anywhere. So now I'm going to have to dig out of this. Still have plenty of lines to burn, but don't want to burn them that much. And getting some decent pieces, but I just want to burn entirely out of this. I don't want to play dirty off the bottom. I just want to have a nice stack so the nerves don't get to me. It's too early to be selling out with crazy builds. There we go. I'm finally starting to be able to fill this in, although no, some bad pieces again. As you can see, it's been like 20 lines, but I've barely scored anything. Without the Tetrises, you don't get much of anything at all. But there we go, I'm finally clean. I can start building again. And I'm ready for the Tetris. Come on, where's the long bar? There we go, we can start storing again. 769. I've got 250,000 to go. Still a ways, and some bad pieces means I have to do some weird burns, but I get out of it. Level 25, only 3 levels left. Level 25 is where I throw so many games. The nerves really get to you, but I'm setting up for the Tetrises. There we go. I just need the long bar. I need the long bar. It's not coming. I misdropped the S piece. Oh my goodness. I was panicking at this point. I can still remember it. And I get the long bar over, but it barely burns anything. I need to tap something really fast over to the left side. And with the situation, oh, I was so nervous, and I just barely managed to slip it over. And there we go. I can start to clear this down, but I'm running out of lines, and I still need 130,000 points. I'm frantically digging and not getting quite the right pieces, but I'm able to open this up. And there we go. A long bar is going to bring this down. 883,000. I still need 120,000, and I only have 18 lines left until the game is over. There we go. 1 Tetris. I need 3 more Tetrises, and I only have 1.5 more levels to do it. I'm getting some awful pieces. Look at this board. This is in disarray. I only have 5 lines left to burn if I want to max out, and I'm already committed to burning 3 of them to clean up out of here. There we go. I've opened it up. I need a long bar. I need a long bar. There's the long bar, and I can fill in the left side. I need 2 more Tetrises. I'm set up for another one. There's the long bar. I need 1 more Tetris. 1 more Tetris. There we go. I'm just set up. I just need 1 piece to the left, and now I'm just waiting for the long bar. I need it. I need it before I top out. And there's the long bar! And there's the max out! And I get an extra double on the kill screen. And there we go! That is the max out! I really wish I had the audio there, but you can see in the subtitles, I could still remember exactly what I said. And wow, what a game. That was it. Almost a year of practice. Building up slowly through the ranks, getting involved with the community, playing tournament games. It all led up to that. And it feels so good. Of course, these days, maxouts aren't nearly as rare as they used to be, with well over 100 people getting their own maxes. But for a game with 8 million copies sold, I'll definitely take it. And especially as someone who was just a random YouTube fan about a year ago, to be able to add my name to that list feels really awesome. Thank you so much for watching. This isn't the end of Tetris for me. I'll still be around, I'll still be playing, and I'm even going to try and qualify for World Championships this year. But that's a story for another day.